Hi. Good to see you. Welcome. My name's Dean. This is our podcast brought to you by our friends over at Easy Auto Financial, easyautofinancial.ca. Need a car? Need financing? Can't find it? They got it. Bad credit? They don't care. Good credit? Even better. easyautofinancial.ca. No obligation. Doesn't cost you a thing. Send you to get the car you want. easyautofinancial.ca. I'd like to thank our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports, edsfineimports.com. He sells Gitch. You can buy it. Luxury branded underwear, the best you'll ever buy in the world, best in the history of your nuts. Go to edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code. That's how you can get some of that. And domination.com, dmntn.com. We use them all the time. It's AI for people that like to produce things, stream, game, whatever. Makes it super easy. Minutes instead of hours. Go to dmntn.com and check them out today. Well. Please welcome to the program, as always, Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM, who's currently streaming this on his phone at the same time again for some reason.
I'm trying to send it to my Facebook. There we go.
All right. Ryan,
I got
Lindley
fat
for the Sheep
fingers, eh?
I know. Sheeple Shepherd podcast, anywhere you get your fine podcasts.
Hi, boys.
Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Hey, buddy. And Bonzarelli's back at Bonzi Live on Twitter. Tripping with Bonzi. He's got a podcast tonight as well. We'll get to that. He also has 3 testicles and injured himself playing tennis for one. So that'll be fun today as well.
That's a better
true
name
story.
for it.
Tennis for one?
Yeah.
Better name for
I like that.
One.
Yeah.
Instead of wall tennis.
Tennis for one.
Yeah, it's always good when you get a text from him. It's like, "Hey, dude, I'm in a merge because I hurt myself playing wall tennis by myself. Can you send me some?" Like, yeah, that's weird. It's the weirdest thing I ever heard anybody say at like 11 o'clock at night. But actually happened yesterday. So, and we got lots of stuff to get to. Canada, Mexico, of course, we talked about that. We got a fat guy dinner to talk about. Not just Bonzi. Bell fired a bunch of people, so we'll laugh at mainstream media a little bit today, which will be fun.
Did they fire more people? Why?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, it's wait till we get to it. You'll love it. But more importantly, my brother's on the program today. Please welcome Dave Blundell, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Blundell is our guest.
Questions.
I believe.
Questions.
Yeah, right.
I have
Lock is hard.
Fired up.
Good to be here.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hi,
Good
bud.
to see you.
Good to see you
Been a
too.
while.
I know we talked last night, but we haven't. Well, it was just on the phone. Dave is my older brother. He's 2 years older than me. And just for you know how we made fun of Kyle Rittenhouse's mom and Britney Spears being the same age. I just want to do a quick study. So my brother is 50, as you can see. That's my brother. He's 50. Right next to him, Lachlan, 50. My brother,
I've had
50.
Okay, hold
Lachlan,
on. It's been a rough
50.
morning.
Hang on, my
It's
brother
been a rough
50,
morning.
Lachlan 50. Like, I mean, that is unbelievable. And Dave is the youngest looking member of our family, youngest of the kids. My dad also very young looking. My mother very young looking. Myself very age appropriate looking. Dave looks like he's 30. And I got to tell you, it didn't bother me until this year, until you turned 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
It was like, well, I was like, I got like, you know, when we were younger and you were a little bit shorter, maybe not as athletic as me. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy, right? I'm the guy in the family. And now I'm like, I'm 48, not the best shape in the world. I look age appropriate. And then I look at you in terrific shape. You look like you're 30 and I'm jealous. You look great.
You a runner,
I'm just
Dave?
jealous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jealous of
I'm a runner and a hiker, but I've always been jealous of Dean's hair. Really, he's got great hair.
So does your dad. I noticed your dad's
the old
got
man?
great hair too.
I've got a list of questions. This is on it. Is Dean the only albino in the family?
See,
I think he just started shaving last year for the first time.
see the only one that looks like Ellen DeGeneres' tennis coach.
Do you wanna get these out of the way before we
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
my brother's in Chilliwack.
Okay.
The reason why he's here is there's a flood in Chilliwack. He's trapped like everybody else is, and he's got a
Let's
bunch
get
of
through
details.
let's
Okay, do
get
you want
through my
some
questions.
music? Do you want get some question music? I can get it for you.
Yeah. I won't be long.
Okay.
I've only got
All right.
30.
All right. Block
So,
with my brother.
You guys
Ask
have
me
a
questions. Go ahead.
Dean and Dave. Do you guys have a sister named Diane?
No.
No.
Is it? Does
Danielle.
her Danielle? I was
Danielle.
just off.
Oh, the D's.
It is a D. Oh wow.
I get it.
Dave, are you the smart one?
Depends how you define smart.
Okay. All right. That's a yes.
He was a book
Have
smart,
you-
street smart.
Have you heard Dean's impersonation of your mother?
I have for my whole life.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Have you ever gotten free underwear or been offered free underwear from your brother Dean?
Used free underwear, yes.
Okay.
I
All
left
right.
him behind. Skid marks and all.
Is
Is there anything
there
else?
is anybody in the family known as the good kid?
Ah,
He
That-
is.
that gets into some family therapy needs there.
Yeah. All right.
He
so
is,
you
dude.
are the
Can
good
I tell you something? He
He's
is
the smart
When
kid
I-
and he's the good kid. Man,
totally.
what's going on
when
with you, Dean?
when we grew up, one child in our house got in shit. All of us did similar things. I was a little dumber than my brother. He never got caught, but there was one person who suffered dearly, and it was me. And I remember after every time I'd get spanked, again jealous because I'm like, he didn't get spanked. He did half of what we were supposed to be doing. Like remember when we put nail polish on the back of the shed? And we got in trouble for that in Rosetown. Do you remember that? We used to live in Saskatchewan. We nail polished the back of mom and dad's shed.
It was the
And
fort.
then-
We had a fort
Yeah,
back there.
And yeah, we built a cool fort. And dad was like, okay, this is terrible. Who did all the nail polishing of the shed? And we're like, it was both of us. And then he's like, but who drew the swastika? And I'm like,
oh, shit. That got dark really quick.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I was like 6.
I don't know if I should
nail
ask any
polish
more
swastika. Go ahead.
I do have one more because
Sure.
on top of the underwear thing, there's another common thread that happens with us as friends of Dean Blundell. Has he ever tried to like push the stoicism thing on you, like the glass half full shit?
No.
Philosophy.
No. Okay.
No.
All right.
But it has made him a much calmer person.
Oh, so you're
That's the
okay
weed.
with it? Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Also the weed.
That's just the weed.
That's just the way.
All right, we can move on to BC.
All right.
Sure.
Good. I mean,
That was
he's done?
easy. That was super
Would
easy.
you eat a 3-pound Reese peanut butter pie
Oh, you know what?
in
I
one
saw
sitting?
Him, I saw him tweet that pie, and it looks so good.
Didn't
Yeah.
realize.
I tried to buy one yesterday here in Cali. Couldn't find it. I was so pissed.
Limping around with his 3 nuts looking for pie.
Did you, dude? They
did.
sold out.
I-
They sold out in 5 minutes online. We did a whole story about it. If you read the
Where'd that come
story
from?
that we posted, came from the WFLA in the States, where they put out the Hershey's. Hershey's is putting out this 3.5-pound peanut butter cup. And if you read the story that we put out about it, which is why I think you went looking for one, right?
Yeah.
You would have known that they sold out online 2 days ago.
I didn't read the story. I just heard
course
you
you
talking
did.
about
On
it. I
the
must have
headline.
missed it. I was sitting in an emergency room, miserable as fuck, and surrounded by geriatrics at 90 years old, whining and moaning
You're
everywhere.
In
It was just,
desert.
today was the worst.
Everyone's over the
Yesterday was
age
the
of
worst.
80 there.
What were you doing in that emergency room, Bonzi? Were you whining and moaning as well, right along with them?
I wasn't. Well, sort of.
Were you just mad
I
because
might have hurt
they,
my foot playing
they were louder? Or
single tennis.
Yeah, he's playing tennis on his own. We're going to get to it in a minute. Bonzi has had
Yeah.
2 significant injuries this week. One was from riding a bike. One was from playing tennis on his own.
yeah, no,
Both of them
I,
on my own. Sad life I live.
know
he's-
it is.
I mean, he's complaining about the old people in there whining and moaning while he was in there whining and moaning.
Yeah, it's what we do. We're dudes. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Dave is our guest. Dave is in Chilliwack, British Columbia, correct? That's where you've lived for
Yep.
now. Geez, it's got to be like 25
Almost
years,
thir-
almost.
Almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
Yeah. And obviously there's some inclement weather that has caused some problems in British Columbia. I mean, we've been reading about this over the past little bit, and Chilliwack, which is where you live, which is where you're joining us from, is effectively Chilliwack along with Abbotsford. And if you understand the main lower mainland area of British Columbia, beautiful area. It's in a valley, the Fraser Valley. It's about an hour and a bit outside of Vancouver, inland.
Mhm.
Largely
And
agricultural.
massive agricultural area called the Sumas Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
Very lush, and it's between the 2 mountain ranges, of course, the United States. And so all the runoff has just kind of ended up in the Fraser Valley, and it's caused some not just flooding, Dave, but like when did you kind of figure out like, okay, something's wrong? Did you guys not get a heads up that like, hey, we're going to get a lot of rain and there could be some flooding? But when did this whole thing start?
We went to Victoria on Sunday to see some friends, and when we were coming, and it would rained all the way from Chilliwack to the ferry terminal, and then all of a sudden it was just all day long coming down in sheets, and then we took the ferry back to the mainland on Sunday night, and then when we got to, I could see on the highway was still open, and I could see the water rising between the highway and then the roads coming into Chilliwack. So Sunday night, it was pretty clear that we were going to have a problem.
But what kind, like when you say Sunday night, it was clear we're going to have a problem. You're coming back and you notice that things are rising. Did you like, did you go, oh, like this is a problem? Or did anybody tell you about it ahead of time? Did you guys not get like a thing on your phone? It's like, hey, fuck, watch out. It's going to rain.
No. Actually, the first I heard about it was from our mom, who said something about a atmospheric river coming. I have no idea what that is, but it sounded like it was a lot of water. And intense. Then I didn't really hear of anything that was going to be making this a big deal ahead of time. There was a flood similar about 20 years ago out here where a bunch of the Sumas Prairie was flooded. And so, but no, I don't think people here realized it was going to be this bad. At least I didn't.
So there was a month of rain in less than a day is what I was hearing.
2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, month
That's
of rain
insane.
And it rains all the time here in this time of year. So that's a lot of water.
Yeah. And okay, so it starts raining, and when did you go, okay, we got a problem? Because you and I talked last night. You've got a couple stories that I thought were fascinating. One had something to do with your daughter, my niece. Her name is Abby. She's a lovely young lady. And another one has something to do with someone that was in that group. And that's kind of when it kind of triggered you, and what happened?
Yeah, we started to see stuff on social media about some mudslides, and then we were on the ferry just about to dock into Tsawwassen, into Vancouver, and Abby called and she said, I'm stuck down Chilliwack Lake Road and I can't get back home. And so a friend of hers had left this group that she was a part of and had tried to drive back to Chilliwack, and a mudslide came down on top of the car, telephone pole hit the car, the kid ended up in hospital. Abby was a couple of cars behind, and so couldn't get through, and she called us and said she's stuck. And so thankfully she could go back to this friend's house, and they hung out there. But the next morning, that friend's house got evacuated because the Vedder River rose, and all the houses down that side of the mountain range got evacuated. So thankfully she got back, but the kid was hurt that was in the car in front of her.
Wow. Is she going to be okay?
Yep. She's good. Yeah. Kid is fine that we've heard of. So that's good. But she got back to town the next morning. So that was good. But then that whole day we were hearing about mudslides, road closures. I drove to just the west side or the east side of Sumas Prairie to a community called Yarrow, and roads were flooded, properties were flooded. We were setting up an event at a church, and they're pumping water out of the basement like crazy. And that's when we thought, okay, this isn't good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so explain that a little bit if you can too, because like you realize something's going on. All of a sudden, you're kind of carrying on with your business. You and I were laughing about this a little bit yesterday. My brother runs an international aid organization. So what he does is he goes around feeding people, building wells, starting schools, kitchens, helping like medicine all around the world, everywhere.
The good Blundell.
He's the good Blundell. Yeah, big time. You got all the good stuff. I just got all the leftovers. And I'm okay with it because I'm super proud of what he does, because he gives and gives and gives. So, but like this is kind of, your job is being affected by it. A lot of people's jobs are being affected by it, but like it is full stop for anything that you've planned, like that event and fundraiser you're doing to try and, raise some funds to be able to help some people around the world. Like that, I don't know where that's at, and what's more kind of in the big picture, big scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, you're locked down. Like you cannot go east from, and if you understand how this works, from my understanding, is there's a flood west, so you can't go into Calgary, right? Because the roads in the valley is flooded. East, and then there are the floods west, rock slides west, so. Like you guys are trapped. You cannot drive anywhere. You cannot go east. You cannot go west. Is that right?
Yeah. So Sunday night and Monday that we realized going east isn't possible. There's 3 highways that go from the Fraser Valley into the Okanagan and number 1 highway, and then into northern BC. And all 3 of those roads are shut. So you you can't go east of here at all. And then the next day, Sumas Prairie filled up with water, which flooded the highway right by Abbotsford. So yeah, we're cut off. You can't go east or west of here. Obviously, we're not getting trucks in or deliveries, and so just yesterday, everything sold out. There was a run on gas and groceries, and you can't get anything anywhere. And grocery stores were lined up outside the stores, and we heard that people were banging down doors, breaking glass, getting into grocery stores. And so, as human nature is typically, everybody looks out for themselves in so many ways. So there's lots of stories of that, but there's also lots of fantastic stories of people helping out other people, and churches and other places opening to take people in who are stranded and being evacuated. So yeah, we can't get in or out of the area, and we don't know when we're going to be able to get trucks in. And there's obviously an imminent danger with the prairie flooding more if these pumps break down. And if that happens, then a lake that was here 100 years ago is going to fill up again, and thousands of farms are going to be under 10 feet of water, they say.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the Barrow pump station, right? You sent this to me. So this is the Barrowtown pump station, correct?
Yeah, that's it. Those 4 little dots on top of that building are the 4 pumps that we're all praying holds up. And about 200 people went yesterday when the mayor called for help, and they went and diked around it and sandbagged it, and that thing's got to keep going, because that thing keeps the lake, what was a lake, empty, which is now farmland, and keeps the water away. But if that sucker goes, then the water's going to fill up and the lake will become a lake again.
Yeah. What's in Sumas Prairie? Sumas, it is. You've got friends that have agricultural farms there.
Oh yeah. Hundreds of farms, and we've got friends with all kinds of farms in that area. Yeah, there's an example of it. One of our friends has a
holy shit.
Yeah, it's number 1 highway looking east into Chilliwack from Abbotsford. So you see those barns on the left-hand side there. I think those are mushroom farms.
Mushroom farms, dude. Those are those Money's mushroom farms, right? That on the way to your house is on the left there. If you look at it,
on the
you're
right.
going to Vancouver, you drive by them.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, our house is on the right-hand side of that hill. The hill off to the far right there is kind of where.
So you're not underwater?
No, we live on the side of a hill, so we're good there. Yeah, but there's also last night, I don't know how this happened. There's all these RVs being sold on the side of the highway there, and in the middle of the flood, all these RVs caught on fire, and so a huge fire that took place last night as well. So
that the fire department couldn't get to, could they?
Yeah. So the mountain on the left there is where Dean and I used to live when we lived in Abbotsford in high school. So just to the left of those Money mushroom barns is where we used to live in high school.
Well, you know what? We wouldn't be in this problem if we just learned to rake the forest floors, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, we're all learning a huge lesson here, right? Yeah.
Wow. But it's like if you've ever been in that area of the world, Locke, you've been down in the Lower Fraser Valley, right? Like you've been. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to comprehend these pictures.
It's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at these Quonsets, which is a mushroom factory here on the left, my left, your right. That mountain that my brother's talking about, that's Mountain Drive, right up in here where we used to live. There. And there's like, I think if I'm not mistaken, there should be, or there was anyway, like a fun park that's underwater in here too, where you can go to the batting cages and there's mini putt and stuff like that. That's underwater. But the devastation, I mean, the mini putt thing you can rebuild. I mean, I saw pictures of cows, like dead cows floating around all over Sumas Prairie.
Yeah, I talked to a friend of ours this morning who owns a hog farm, and they've got some friends that have a hog farm in that same Sumas area, and a whole bunch of cows and pigs are drowning, and they're trying to remove them by hooking them up to jet skis. And I saw
pictures
moving them.
The thing that's like hard to wrap our heads around here as Canadians, right? Because we usually we don't see stuff like this. We don't see this kind of. Now, I mean, we see floods, we see fires, we see all sorts of stuff. The thing that that's interesting about this event, this sort of development here in the Lower Mainland, is there's a number, more than a number of communities, and Dave, you're in one of them, that are cut off completely from the rest of the world,
Yeah.
Right? That's hard to wrap your head around. I was thinking about that today, and the wife and I had a quick conversation. I'm like, these people, they can't get supplies. Like
Yeah.
stuff is not getting to them, and it could take weeks to clear out some of these slides and get the roads up and running again, right? Like,
yeah, I
it's
think
insane.
getting to Chilliwack, I think is I think once the waters recede, they're going to be able to open the number one highway and get stuff from the west into Chilliwack, so that they could restock restaurants and gas stations and everything else. But who knows how long it's going to take going east of here. And so supply chains interrupted for all of really Western Vancouver, because all the stuff starts off at Vancouver and heads east out of here, and there's no way to get it there.
No.
Hope is missions completely blocked off. Hope is
Hope
completely blocked off. There's a number
Merritt's
of smaller.
empty. Merritt, BC is evacuated, right? And they were,
Well,
and
Merritt-
I believe there's an
Merritt-
evacuation order for Abbotsford, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Not all of Abbotsford, just the Sumas Flats here. The mayor went on last night and said, everybody get out of there, because if those pumps go, it's game over.
Well, and
get it.
you've also got a situation where they're airlifting food in. Right, that was the one
Yeah.
story I was listening to today. They're flying shit in and dropping it in. It's crazy. Like, it just
Yeah,
it's
we
nuts
just-
to wrap your head around.
One of our staff just went to Haiti after the earthquake just a few weeks ago, and he was flying food and medicine and medical teams from one part of Haiti to another part of Haiti, because he's also a pilot. And then next week, or on Sunday, he's supposed to be going to Kenya and Iraq to do some relief stuff there. And in between, he's home. He's a pilot, and just this morning I was on a phone with him, and he had helicopters all around him, and he was helping out with the rescue efforts this morning. So yeah, he's doing this work in Haiti last month. He's going to Iraq and Kenya on Sunday, hopefully, and now he's at home doing the exact same stuff.
I was going to say your organization is going to be needed close to home. It sounds like more than abroad at this point.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing a fundraiser on Friday night, but I think what we're going to do is change it a little bit and help other organizations who are responding to the local emergency raise some more money. So we're not sure if the catastrophic flood happens. We're not sure we're going to go ahead with it, but if we do, we're going to encourage people to give to stuff that's going on locally as well.
You're the
Do they have
you're
any
the
sort of
good,
timeline
so
on
are
that
you good,
pump?
Blundell?
What's that, Luck?
Sorry.
Just
What's
saying.
it?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Say it again. Say it
I
again.
said you're the good Blundell, right?
No. Oh, gee, we need some
Are you
serious.
safe, Dave? Like, do you
Yeah.
have enough supplies and food at home and stuff where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're stocked for a while, and
Did you hoard toilet paper when COVID started? Is that why everything's good now? Or?
No. My wife might think it's hoarding. I call it being prepared. And so,
Yeah.
anytime
Well,
you
my
buy
producer-
toilet paper from Costco, you feel like you're hoarding.
You're already
just one bag. Just
You
one
do
bag.
get a lot of looks if you're walking around with a cart full, right?
I
Like, if
know.
you got
I'm always,
6
dude. Even if I go in to get like a 12-pack of toilet
I know.
paper, there's something embarrassing about doing that. So,
Yeah.
like when
Yeah.
you walk out of a pandemic like shopping trip or a flooding shopping trip with like 50 rolls of toilet paper, everybody looks at you like, dude, we know you're going to wipe your ass with that. All I see is that person wiping their ass when they're walking out of the store. I don't even look at the toilet paper. I'm like, you're a massive ass wiper. That's what you're doing. Every time I buy toilet paper.
We got stuck at the beginning of the pandemic because everyone. I said to the wife, I said, "It's going to be fine. We're going to have supplies." And then we started to run out, and my wife, after a couple weeks, it was never in the grocery store. She's like, we're down to like a couple of rolls here, and I have girls at home, right? Which they just consume toilet paper like crazy.
Yeah.
So I was stealing it from work, as you do. But we sent our daughter down to the
radio station. Did you really steal toilet paper?
Absolutely. I was taking a roll home a day.
Same.
Anyway, just throw
The
it
big
in the bag.
industrial rolls, like the big one.
No. They we have the I think it's Costco ass tickets too. Anyway, the daughter one morning when we found out online, there was actually people saying where toilet paper was available, and they were saying that it was going to be sold, and they sold out right in the. So we sent one of the kids that wasn't working. It got her up at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Go get toilet
And
paper.
to go down to Shoppers and stand in line. And she's standing in line. It's kind of cold out. She's all huddled up and everything. And she sends me a picture from the line. And there's like 20 people waiting in line for shit tickets. I couldn't believe it. So the doors open at 8.
Used to be
everyone
concert tickets, now it's
storms-
shit tickets.
Everyone storms the aisle with the toilet paper, and she actually got one. And my goodness, we celebrated that night. Champagne.
Everybody took 2 shits.
Just throwing toilet paper rolls at each other, celebrating, getting drunk. That must have been a lot of fun.
It was a
This
great
is-
night.
My brother sent this to me the other. Did your wife send this, or did you send this to me? I can't
No,
remember.
I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to you. And then the gas station, like we went out last night. I went to the drugstore to get some meds, and went to the gas station. And within 24 hours, all the gas stations are empty with gas, and
Wow.
grocery stores look like that. It's like, how does it happen within 24 hours that all that stuff could be gone? It tells you how vulnerable we can be.
Oh yeah,
Are we
Supply chain.
prepared for natural disasters?
No.
I know I'm
No.
shocked.
And it was funny because we were texting back and forth, and we got a family text obviously, and we're kind of texting back and forth, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Do you got enough food?" And he's like, "Yeah." Heidi went, and his lovely wife went and got some food, and so she went to go get some stuff, and my dad, of course, he chimes in, "Hey bud, you got enough food?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got a lot of food." And then my sister, who's like an ultra prepared human being, it's just a nice way to say it, she's like, "It's always a good idea to have 5 years worth of food on standby." And we're like, "I'm not answering that."
Too much. She said too much. 1 to 2 months. Yeah, I noticed you got real quiet.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't get into that one. That's a whole other thing.
I have friends,
but it's not a
that
bad
have
idea.
bunkers
Yeah.
outside of town, so I
Really?
know all about.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, yeah! I live in Alberta. Like
Okay.
they have weapons stashed in, and they have maps, and there is. If Costco, if you see like anything in the flyer for Costco, like the 500-pound Kraft macaroni and cheese, it will sell out instantly here in Alberta. Why? Because of all the
preppers.
doomsday preppers.
Oh yeah.
Peppers.
Any stuff like that, any sort of dry goods or anything that are like huge, like in like massive sized, it
Mhm.
goes like that. I'm surprised they don't do it more often because, I mean, they must just sell that shit like crazy.
Yeah, people buy
Imagine
out
how
of
many
paranoia.
bridge packs you would need, Lachlan, of beer.
Well,
Everybody running for the toilet
build
paper.
his bunker
Locke's
out of them.
talking it, I
When-
gotta get the bridge pack.
When
So,
COVID
you almost ran
Army
out of toilet
Chris-
paper, but you never ran out of beer once, did you?
No, I was fine.
I knew it.
There was a rumor that that Justin Trudeau, I don't know, like everyone blames Justin for everything in Alberta, and there was a rumor flying around that Justin Trudeau was going to shut down the liquor stores because of COVID. And literally, Army Chris got up the next morning, drove his truck to the liquor store, and bought a truckload of
Pilsner.
beer. A Pilsner. I'm not even kidding. He filled the back of his truck and drove home and went, I'm
You sent
good
me a
for
picture
about
of it.
10 weeks.
I know. You
And
sent me a
then,
picture.
and then
of
ended
it.
up drinking it in 6.
That's what happens.
Hey, you guys are horrible with beer math, just so you
Yeah.
guys know.
I know. Okay, so Dave Chilliwack, he's in Chilliwack now, flood trapped, can't go. Maybe into Vancouver in the next little while, but there's still a flood preventing from going that way. Going east, you're screwed because this is the Coquihalla. Now, if you saw
Roca
that.
Highway.
That was the highway. So the Coquihalla is this massive extension back when you and I were teenagers that they just finished building because we lived in Abbotsford. You remember that? And everybody had these bumper stickers on the back of their stupid fucking cars. It was like, I drove the Coquihalla. And you're like, I don't give a shit if you drove the Coquihalla. And anyway, so this was like a massive build, massive extension that opened up the number one to a bunch of traffic, and it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
it's gone. There's
Parts of it, yeah.
Well, parts of it, but how bad is it? And because I was reading this morning that they might not get this thing repaired. People might not be going that way or this way. And Locke, to your point, talking about supply chain stuff, all the shit that you get trucked into Alberta comes from British Columbia. So, like, if you thought your bridge pack was expensive before, but what are you talking? Like, because that road is washed out in a bunch of places, mudslides, rock slides. What have you heard about the timeline for even getting that fixed so you can get actual traffic through from Alberta to BC?
Yeah, that's going to take the longest to fix, I think. But I think the Highway 1, and then the southern route, Highway 7, Highway 1, and and the whole Princeton Highway I think will probably open sooner, and then that will be able to let traffic through. But the Coquihalla, there's some big parts of that road that are gone, and it's going to take a while to fix. Like if what you just saw there, that's not pull your bulldozer in and get a mud patch open going quick. That's a long time.
That's gone. That's just you have to replace that. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, bridges and stuff.
That Coquihalla took years, and they built it up, and it was just an unbelievably massive project, right? Yeah. And when it did open, it opened up that whole corridor. Got like, boom, right?
Yeah, dude, look at it. Look at it. That's the highway. It's fucking gone. Like it's just gone, and it was gone in a weekend. And the structures and the bridge abutments that are just gone. It is like, it's unbelievable to see, Dave. It really is.
Yeah, and I was going to Vernon in the summer, and the whole thing looked like there was fire on both sides of that road. So you kind of wonder how the fires in the summer affected the floods.
For sure, it did. Right.
Yeah.
So
erosions. Yeah.
Not only that, they've clear cutted the shit out of a lot of like if you've ever driven from the Okanagan into the lower mainland, you'll be shocked. It's kind of shocking sometimes about. Right.
Yeah.
It's wild to watch.
It's been crazy. Yeah. Our daughter
there's no vegetation.
Your daughter said what?
She said just yesterday, just when we thought we were starting to return to precedented times, then this happened. So it's just kind of been the kind of year it's been.
Well, yeah, they had the heat dome, and then they had the wildfires, and then you have this, which I'm starting to think, I don't know about you guys, global warming might be a thing.
Climate change for sure.
Climate change.
We just got to rake the forest floors.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that's Canada. Like that's Canada's #1 port. Like that's that port is now cut the entire country. Like we're cut off from our biggest, most traveled port. For importing.
One of my kids lives in Regina, and he was saying that the same thing they're saying there is that they're going to have a problem getting stuff, the basics, even just to a place like Regina. So and
we're already having problems importing stuff with things because of COVID and port backups in Los Angeles ports. Yeah. And now we've got now ours is gone. So this is going to have a big impact on the entire country. So I think people should probably pay a little more attention.
Oh yeah, dude, your milk is going to cost you like $40 for a bag of milk.
Yeah, the Sumas Prairie there that supplies 50% of the province's dairy, eggs, and all that kind of stuff. So if those pumps fail, 50% of our dairy and some stuff are gone from that whole area.
How confident are they about those pumps, Dave?
Last night they were
not so much.
They were basically saying it's going to fail. They're anticipating it failing. Everybody get out of there. And then this morning I read that a whole bunch of volunteers showed up and sandbagged it and built some stuff around it to protect it says it buys them some time. So hopefully as of today it's holding, and we're just praying that.
Is it still raining, Dave?
No, it's been beautiful the last couple of days.
Oh, okay.
So there is floodwaters receding. Like I'm just seeing Abbotsford said Abbotsford just rescinded part of their evacuation order west of Abbotsford. So they're already starting to rescind some evacuation orders based on waters receding. And that was just about a half an hour ago. So the waters are receding where it's in low-lying areas. And I think now just the big deal is this pump area. And if that holds, then we might be on the other side of the worst of it. But if that doesn't hold, then we're not.
Fucked. Wow. It's a nice way to put it.
Producer Glassy was there last night helping fill those sandbags, by the way. So shout out to him. He's down the street from you, literally in Chilliwack. So good on those guys. Anybody that showed up and helped fill those sandbags last night,
that's
good
awesome.
on them. Good on them.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Years ago, my sister moved to Nanaimo, and
still shocked that I didn't know you had a sister until today. But anyway,
that's a deep water.
I have one too, by the way. I didn't even bring her up.
Yeah.
She's in Seattle. I actually talked to her yesterday about this because some of the tail end of this river, atmospheric river, hit Seattle as well. So I checked in on her, and everything's okay there. So
I sent my sister a dinghy to be a dick, and I said, "You'll need this to get to Edmonton when the earthquake comes."
From Nanaimo?
So
you are an asshole.
She might not even be surprised by your shit anymore, though, dude.
Yeah.
No.
You're the best. You're the best. You're the best guy I know. You're the only person that has a bad relationship with someone and intentionally spends money to make it worse.
How did you know I had a bad relationship with my sister?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know she existed until today, and I've been working with you for a fucking year. That's just as a light went off when you mentioned her. I'm like, oh, that's probably why I didn't like her. Anyway,
I did learn a great deal of my passive aggressive nature from my sister. She is the queen of that.
Oh, is she really?
She can teach a university degree on it.
Before you go, I want to ask you a question. My brother Dave's a reverend. And we have spirited conversations. We both agree that there is something wrong with evangelical Christianity as we've seen it play out during this pandemic. You were going to send this to me. We talked about it before the show, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We posted this morning. Nova Scotia Church hosted super spreader linked to 3 deaths in a massive outbreak. Pastor says, quote, "It's unfortunate," end quote, "but it's all part of God's plan." Now, I would love your thoughts on this. You're vaccinated. Our family generally, is vaccinated because they believe in it. Most of the people that, believe in that ideology in our family are vaccinated. You are as well. I would love your thoughts because you share, you did, you don't anymore. You shared a profession with this piece of shit. So can you explain that to me from your perspective?
No, it's not a faith that makes sense to me. Like when people go on doing that kind of thing, it's not something that I resonate with. It's not something I agree with. It's not a faith that makes sense to me, because the faith that makes sense to me and the thing that I've given my life for is to actually sacrifice my life for other people, is to lay down my life for other people, and to consider others more important than myself. And that whole thing and the people that represent it are kind of the worst of North American individualism that says that my life is more important than other people. And that's not something that I read in the Bible. That's not something that I see in the life of Jesus. And it's certainly not something that that I could support. So no.
Well put, Dave. Thank you for that. Because I gotta say this, like I am not religious at all, but I have and I have very little respect for the institution of religion, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And I've lost what faith I had in that and its contribution to today has dwindled significantly in the last year and a half. And unfortunately, there's more people. There's the ones that the selfish side of that, of faith and religion, seems to be the noisiest part of it right now. I hope there's more people like you, Dave, that have faith. And
there are. I know for sure there are. And I know that there's a lot of people that would align with the kinds of things that I just said, that would say that the purpose of life is to consider other people more important than yourselves. And as Dean's talked often about his disillusionment, to put it nicely, with organized religion, he's got
that is a polite way.
Yeah, he's got good company, because Jesus had a big problem with organized religion in his day, and the people that he was the most antagonistic with were people that represented organized religion. So he's in good company.
Yeah.
And didn't they kill him for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They killed him for it. So
they hung him from a cross, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sexy Jesus yet?
No, I'm not showing Dave Sexy Jesus.
I saw your feed. It's
did
there.
you?
Yeah, I did see that.
Do you have a problem with any of those things, or are we good?
I'm good with you. That doesn't mean we agree on everything, but we agree on a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this last night. Like my brother and I have a conversation where it's like, listen, it was really hard for me because I came from that religion, right? Like we all did. And we were all kind of taught to believe the craziest fucking shit on the planet. It was like, and I said this to him last night. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, this is not like the way that we were taught is not dissimilar to Pastor Robert Dickhead, who killed 3 people in Nova Scotia. Right. And it's funny because there's this kind of awakening in our circles, of family members, other people that may or may not have believed any of that bullshit, where a lot of us are going, whoa, hang on. This is about other people. right? This is about, it's not about me. This is about other people. This is about contributing to the greater good. And it's been fascinating to watch because, like, my brother still believes in the certain tenets, but they're not exclusionary tenets. Where we're very, very similar is I believe none of it, right? I just don't believe any of it. Like, we had a conversation last night about the afterlife, and my input into that was it's irrelevant because you won't know anything about it because you're dead. Like, and it's to me, that's legitimately how I feel. But it has caused me this consternation for years, like years, because we grew up in it. We were tutored to tell people that being gay was bad. We were tutored to tell people that they wouldn't go to heaven if they didn't say a magic prayer. We were taught to go and share the good news of bullshit with people. And it was like the most freeing thing in the world for me to go, you know what? I don't necessarily believe any of that. And you know what? When I really doubled down is at the start of the pandemic, when I started seeing, and you and I have talked about this several times, I started seeing people misrepresent the life that you led and the life that mom and dad led. Right. And I'm like, whoa. My parents don't believe any of that. My brother doesn't believe it. This is fucking crazy. There's this like, and I've gotten to the point where I've realized that evangelical Christianity is not unlike every other religion that has terrorists in it. It's not unlike Muslim terrorism, these people that we're talking about. It's not unlike any other kind of major organization, man-made religion that has extremists that misrepresent the whole. But the very essence of it, like when I read stories like that about the guys, like, it's God's will, I legitimately want to go and find him and beat some sense into him. Because I'm like, people died. And you know what he said, Dave? You know what he said? He's like, it's okay the people died because one woman got saved. I'm like, and if you don't know what that means about being saved, it means that woman joined the Christian club while 3 people died. And you know the 3 people that died? All handicapped people that lived in group homes, didn't have families.
Of course.
Seriously. Like, that's the problem that I have with it. And we have some spirited conversations, but I'm really fortunate to have someone like my brother who's got his master's in leadership and divinity, and he understands the whole thing. And he's like, hey, listen, man, it's not us. It's not them. It's about human beings, and it's about literally giving back to the greater good. So,
yeah, and in a lot of media, we end up giving people like that pastor that you just talked about, we end up giving them way too much voice and not including the voices of people who are not believing what he did, which is the majority. Like that guy, that's the minority, but we give them way too much airtime.
It's the shock value.
I'm glad you said that, Dave, because I mean, I think that we're kind of guilty of that on this pod. I'm guilty of it on my show, right? Anytime that we see a negative story, we could gravitate towards that, prop that up. Whereas
we don't prop it up though, Locke. We dunk on it. We don't just report it. We dunk on it. Like we rip them to shreds.
But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to echo what Dave was saying, in that there are a lot. It's good to hear somebody say what Dave said that has a religious background, right? That believes in what he believes, because I've done this. I'm not religious at all. I don't hang out with anybody who's religious, and I've got everybody in the same fucking canoe. Like I've got them all. Like I've taken all religion and I've gone, okay, you're all doing this. You're all a bunch of dicks because of the negative stories. So it's good to hear.
80% of the people in my church background, 80% of them are, I've heard the number, 80% of them are vaccinated. And so
that represents society.
Yeah, but why doesn't that 80% go and beat the shit out of the other 20%, Dave?
Because you're doing a good job of that.
Thank you. But why can't you? Like, you guys, that's my thing, is like your own community's got to police your own fucking community, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
what are they? Have you gone to people and said, "Hey, listen, dickhead, you got to get vaccinated. You got to fucking believe in science. Like, this is for real. This is not like there isn't a God that's going to come and save you. The God that you believe in, if you believe in that shit, He absolutely empowered people to invent these things that are saving our lives, if you do believe in that God. But my question is like, well, why is there no policing in that thing? Because I never see, rarely, you do it, our folks do it. I've seen a few other people do it that live by values and like people and generally want other people to be happy. But generally speaking, people in that religious community, in that Christian faith, do not hold the crazies accountable. They don't.
Yeah.
It's like they're fucking scared.
I don't think you're seeing the situations where people are being held accountable, because I know of a denominational leader that was just held accountable for the exact same thing, and held accountable by his own people, and said that's not okay, and that's not acceptable. And so it's there.
Someone I know. Do you want to sue him live on the air? That'd be fun.
We had a conversation this week.
On.
Yeah.
We had a conversation this week about. This is a test. Okay, I just got an emergency alert. Sorry, guys. We had a conversation this week about the Thanksgiving in the States, and I mean they have like 58%, 55% of the U.S. is actually vaccinated. I think. I'm Ryan.
Yeah, it's
so
low.
the numbers are considerably lower than what they are in Canada. So there's
literally Brazil just surpassed them.
Brazil passed them.
Yes.
Holy crap. Okay, so. There's Thanksgiving, there's family coming over, and they did a survey, and it came back that a significant number of the people that are having family gatherings are going to not invite unvaccinated family members over. And Grant brought up an interesting point, and this sort of speaks to what Dean was saying. Are these people being held accountable? It's if you, let's say you are having a family gathering and Uncle Terry isn't vaccinated. Well, guess what?
Always Terry? Why is it always Terry? You always come up with Terry. Terry is always the name that you use to.
And he always drives a black Dodge.
Yeah, and he always drives a black Dodge.
Black Dodge Ram truck. So Uncle Terry, by the way, outside of COVID, we don't want him at the house. So now you got an out, right? Because he's annoying. Let's be honest. We already know what Uncle Terry's like. So so we just don't invite him over to the house, right? Yeah. But is he being held accountable? No. He might know that mom and dad don't want him there, and his brothers and sisters think he's a dick for not getting vaccinated, so he's not going to get invited. But I don't think what Dean is saying is true. No one's sitting Terry down and going, "What? Like, come on, buddy. Like, let's have a heart to heart here, you moron. Like, why are you doing this?"
And I'm a part of conversations where they are happening, and I can understand your perspective that they might not be, because you just see Pastor so and so from Nova Scotia who did what they did, and that takes up the airtime. But those accountability conversations are happening, and organizations that are led by faith-based or Christian people are challenging their staff, and they're pushing their staff, and they're doing it with the same kindness and compassion for the most part that we're expecting followers of Jesus to have. And so, but those accountability conversations are happening. Maybe not out in public, like some of these super fringe people, but they are happening. Not as much as I'd like, but they are.
Yeah. Dave, I'll let you go. But I want to thank you for taking some time to just talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you for not being an overly religious guy. It's the best.
Even though Christmas easier.
How come you got out of being a reverend, Dave?
I haven't. I still am, and I still work with lots of Christian organizations and do lots of work with churches. And so, my passion for holding on to that part of my life is to do the opposite of the kinds of things that you're just talking about, and live the opposite of that kind of rampant individualism that's focused on self, that has nothing to do with my faith. So that's why I've held on to it, is for that exact reason.
Good for you.
I buy that.
Yeah,
I buy that. I love it. Yeah.
That's great.
That's why I love you. Love you, brother. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to be with you all.
Yeah.
Really is great to meet you.
Stay safe, buddy.
Nice meeting you, Dave.
Yeah,
Thanks
go
Get
find
to the rest of my
stuff.
questions at a later date.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Let's get into it again.
We'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks.
See you, bud.
Take care. That is my brother Dave. He is a reverend, and he is living in Chilliwack, British Columbia, where they are trapped. They can't go anywhere.
Crazy.
That's
literally.
Great. Just wrap your head around that. Right now, where you're sitting, you're on an island.
Yeah.
No food, no gas, no supplies, no ass
beer
tickets,
lock,
no beer.
Your car doesn't work to get you anywhere. There's no place to go get gas. There's no groceries. That is a hub. Like that area of the world is a hub for agriculture, hub for food, hub for migrant workers. It is a hub. And the fact that Vancouver can't get anything across to you, Locke, you are going to feel the fucking pinch. Big time.
Gas will go up.
On top of the inflation, like I read that October had the biggest inflation month ever. It was like 4.7% inflation in the month of October. So you're looking at, oh, fuck.
I'm just glad we have strong leadership right now. So we should all just be. I will say something about Vancouver, like living in the Lower Mainland for the short period of time that I did. I met my beautiful wife there. I got married in Vancouver, and then we moved away, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made. My wife was born and raised there, and if we could go back, maybe I don't know, maybe she wouldn't. I wonder if she would. It'd be interesting. We wouldn't be able to afford to live there, right? You can't. I mean, Dave's lucky because he got there 30 years ago. And now he's established, he's got roots there. But if you're just moving there, like if you're just trying to start a family or move there for a new job or a new career or something, you're fucked. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And there was always, I gotta say, and I'm not a nervous person. I don't have any anxiety issues or anything like that. My drinking is purely based on my traumatic childhood. Nothing other than that. So anytime I was there and anytime I've been back, there is this heaviness in Vancouver. And again, I'm not a big, like, I'm not going to go light incense after we get off the podcast and do ohms for an hour either. But there is this thing that hangs over Vancouver. And I always felt like if the end of times come, and there's a big fucker, like a big earthquake or something, Vancouver's going down. Mm-hmm. Like that island is going to go underneath the ocean. I always felt that way. And hi, anybody listening in BC? I honestly, I swear to God, I felt it when I lived there.
Daily affirmations with Lachlan Cross.
I felt it. And
it's on a major fucking fault line. It's on a major fault line. When I used to live out there, and I remember when I was in my grade 9 to grade 11, I lived in BC. Grade 9, 10, and 10. So my second year in grade 10. So it's 3 years of BC. Yeah.
You had to repeat grade 10?
Yeah, because I went to the lake. I missed
Dave?
No,
Dave
he
repeat
passed.
A grade?
No, because he went to school. There's my grade 10 year, my first year in grade 10. This is a true story. Out of the 290 days, I was present for 70 of them. And when they failed me, you're like, your marks are good, but you missed too much school, so we're going to make you repeat it. And I'm like, they go, where were you? I said, I was at the lake.
I tried my hardest.
It's a true story. But when I lived there, it was this constant reminder that, this is 30 years ago, that the big one's coming.
Yes,
the big one's
they
coming.
Talk about it all the time.
Yes, yeah, and it's on a major fault line and running through the street. You're like, fuck, it's coming. It's coming. And you're like, it's coming. And it's 30 years later, and now they're flooding. I agree with you. I think if there's a major, we're looking at the start of major colossal disasters that look like this, right? Like it looks like when you look at this picture, you're like, there's some groundwater. Whatever, the road's washed out. They can just, move that around with some heavy excavators. No big deal. They'll just pump this kind of stuff up. But this is what the start of it looks like, I think. I really do. This is what the start of major geological changes, environmental changes look like. Like we're seeing it. That area of the world, and we were talking about it earlier with my brother, they got fucking pounded with heat in the summer so bad. It was like 48 degrees for a week there. Couldn't go out of the house. Then they had the wildfires. My grandmother lives in Kelowna. Yeah. My brother was back and forth taking her out of wildfires, that guy, for weeks this summer. Weeks and into the fall. And then now they can't fucking go anywhere because it's underwater. This is here. It's real. And I didn't want to believe in it. And I know you recycle lock, but
this isn't gonna go away.
No.
We're not we're going to continue. This is a continuation. This isn't one of those, hey, don't worry about it. We're not going to have another one for 25 years. Mm-hmm. No. Every summer, half of Alberta and Saskatchewan is on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like all summer long, you taste smoke. That's not going to change. We live in a world now where this is going to be a common occurrence. And I have a feeling that this extreme movement of weather, these extremes we're dealing with, I mean, they're part of the reason why fucking we got the crazy fucking flooding in certain areas now, right? Like, anyway, I'm not an expert, and
me neither. I was like, with climate change, I don't know if you guys are the same way. I'm like, it's not in my lifetime, right?
No,
it's here.
We're sitting in it like every year now with the fear of the fires closing in on major towns and things like that, and my dad basically sitting on his deck all summer long watching the.
Sorry, did you say deck?
Deck on his deck, in the Okanagan. He lives in Kamloops, watching the hills burn. Right,
yeah, he's and Kamloops is cut off. Kamloops can't go anywhere either. That's where the Coca-Cola starts in Kamloops. You fucking cannot go anywhere because it is gone.
It's pretty easy to figure out when things get warm, things melt, water rises, and then water has nowhere to go.
Yeah,
this isn't fucking rocket science,
I love the pictures of the pumps. Like that's saving 200,000 acres from flooding.
That one building,
those four little guys right there,
is saving those 4 pumps. That's Barrowtown Pump Station in Abbotsford. That is legitimately the only thing that stands between the destruction of agriculture in the Lower Mainland and the destruction and death of livestock and chickens, and pigs and cattle. Like that's it. It's fucking wild.
Like your brother said, it'll just be it'll be a lake again.
Yeah,
it'll just turn into a lake again.
Well, and he also told me last night on the phone, he's like, I got to tell you, though, because he's a big Indigenous rights fan as well as I am. Yeah. He's like, the white man stole that whole area, pumped all the water out, and turned it into white guy farmland. It was going to happen. Like, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, nothing man-made lasts forever. The only thing that's always constantly changing and on the move is Mother Nature. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Like
I think Mother Nature's trying to fuck us. I honestly do. I think she is. And I've said this out loud countless times, and I'm not a very religious person, as you guys know, but I believe in karma. I believe you throw a certain amount of positive energy into the world, you get it back. I believe that if you throw the same amount of negative energy out there, you get it back. And I think we're things are coming to roost, guys. Like that's my thought.
They are, and not just when it comes to climate change. And I'm really glad that Bonzi's on the program today because it means something to me. Bonzi's had a tough time over the last little while. You talk about changes.
It's been a rough year.
It has been a rough year for you, hasn't it, Bonzarelli? It's been real tough.
It has, not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, it's been great in one sense, and I had a conversation with a friend this morning. It's been an incredible adventure in a sense. Got to be part of this. It really built my brand. But on the other side, it has been pretty tough. Living alone, being alone, traveling the States, and probably the worst time I could ever come here. I just
middle
thought
of
it
pandemic,
would be
massive heat wave. No big deal.
The heat that I endured this summer is sickening. In every state, and not only that, it kept people inside. I thought it'd be at these RV sites, these campgrounds, and frolicking with people and having a grand old time. Hardly seen a fucking soul, dude.
I would love to see you frolic.
People aren't just about anymore like they used to be, so it definitely has affected my psyche a bit on this trip. And it's caused me to be. I gotta find fun things to do, so I thought I'd try cycling. My neighbor over here says you can borrow my bicycle, Bonds. You go for a little bike ride. Well, I thought, that'd be great. I'll take it out every day. The first 5 minutes, I was like, feeling myself. All right, this is so much fun. Yeah, right on. And then 5 minutes after that, I was like, this is the worst fucking decision I ever made in my life. I can't get back to the bus fast enough because my balls hurt. There's just
not 3 balls on the seat you're not Lance Armstrong, buddy.
No,
you gotta get like a hole cut out where they can drop
one
through.
You're not Lance Armstrong.
You know what?
There's a big difference.
I fucking hate cycling. There is nothing I hate more than
running.
On
I hate
bike.
way more than cycling. You could, like if you said, listen, I'm gonna punch you in the face once as hard as I can, or you gotta run for a mile, and be like, just fucking punch me in the face.
I love running.
I hate running. This is you bicycling. So this is the video of you.
This is gonna be great.
On a bike. Fuck, it's awesome.
So it turns out riding a bike and having 3 testicles, not the best of ideas. My balls hurt, like a lot. This will be my last bike ride for a while. I can tell you that.
The only thing that would make that funnier is if you got smoked by a car.
Thanks.
Okay, hold it. Right. That was the first video. The second video is just more of the same, and his nuts hurt more.
Been a minute since I've been on a bicycle. I think I should get one of these. Great way to get around town. I'm just going to the bank machine so I can score some weed at the dispensary. Have a great Sunday. Great show coming up on Bonzi Live this week. You're not going to want to miss it. You take care. Bye.
My nuts were so squished in the, because the seat, like, you know, the little seats, they're just there's just not enough space there for these 3 fellas to be comfortable in, and it was literally the worst. I was probably on it for about 30 minutes round trip. It sucked.
You don't buy 3 tomatoes and put a fucking brisket on top of it in the bag, do you? Like that's the weight that is on that.
That's a really good analogy, Ryan.
Yeah. Like think about how you pack groceries.
Yeah, all right. Your new nickname, brisket.
Brisket nuts. Can I ask you a question, brisket nuts? And it's a serious question. It's about your testicles, and the most important question is it? Are you sure you have 3 testicles? Because to me, you don't have 3 testicles. You have 2 testicles and some hinky growth that appeared in your nutsack a few years ago. And so that might be causing the problem. And if you want to be able to do things like ride a bike, you might want to get it looked at.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I definitely, after garnering so much attention from 3 whatever it is I have, it's been more than a few years. It's been there for quite some time, and I've gone to a doctor.
It doesn't mean it's not a growth.
Yeah, you said you went to a doctor. Did you go to a urologist, or did you just go see your family doctor? He looked at your nuts and said, "Oh, it's nothing."
Family doctor.
You need a urologist to do something with that.
Dude, you have a growth on your nuts. Like, you gotta go get it taken care of. That's why it hurts so much. I was watching these videos of you, and I'm like, and he's like, and I know you're passing it off as 3 testes and stuff like that. You don't have 3 testicles. You have 2 and a growth, and the growth is what's causing your problems.
Yeah, but in all fairness, probably right. We've rode the 3 testes thing pretty hard, and we're all to blame, not just me. But
we're all to blame.
Legit. I know it's a growth, but it legit is 3. There's 3 balls there though.
I know there's 3. There are 3 globes.
There's 3 items.
Yeah. 3 items
in the bag.
Yeah. So listen, when I get back to Canada and then all this second midlife crisis, you call it, is over, and
actually, this is your third.
I'll probably come in. Where do you guys get 3 from? I want to know this. I did go to Nicaragua.
We're making it up. Yeah, sure. We're making it up.
But when I do get back to Canada, I'm seriously going to see a doctor and get the one over
referral.
Because my apparently my ticker's not doing so good either. My blood pressure yesterday was off the charts. The nurse was like, we might have to send you to the hospital, to the emergency room, and spend the night, because that's in danger territory. It was, I think, my blood pressure yesterday.
Blood pressure was like 175
179 over 127.
Yeah,
that's really
bad. She looked at me when she saw the number. She did it again, and it was a little bit higher. And she's like, "This is."
Are you really? Are you taking any medication or anything like that? Like, are you really high strung right now, or?
Yeah, it's not. I've been on blood pressure medication since I was 32 years old.
Oh, good.
31, 32. They just switched it before I came to the States. because the 50 milligrams of Cozar that I was on apparently wasn't cutting the deal, and it was a lot of water retention. So they switched it to one that's blood pressure and helps with the water retention around the heart. And I guess that wasn't doing so well either. And in all honesty, I haven't taken it in about 7 days because I ran out. And my son, you can't just walk to the pharmacy here and get the prescription from Canada sent to here. So I got my son to go pick up my prescription, send it here, and it's sitting in LA right now. So I got to go get it. Well, now I'm not in a hurry because the doctor gave me some yesterday to last me for a month. So I've got a month buffer of pills.
Dude, I had no idea that you were in that kind of shape. Like I know you shared this with us last night, because this is what you got. Because on top of your nuts hurting, you were playing some wall ball tennis on your own yesterday, and
that's a good idea with 176 over 130.
Oh yeah,
but well, that's the thing too. I've been running 5K every day before I hurt my foot, and I would hold on to the where it takes your blood pressure on the thing, and there's a chart that shows you. And my blood pressure was the heart rate was always in the red zone, so I'd dial it back a bit, and I wouldn't run as fast. But the funny thing is I feel great. I feel fine. I've been running for a while, but every single time I put my hands on that heart monitor thing, it would always be like red zone, red zone, red zone, and I was just like, oh, well, I'll just run faster and I'll get in better shape and I'll be okay.
Like I run into this with Jimmy all the time. Like Jimmy, he does.
Did you hear what he just said? His solution to his blood pressure when he goes and takes his own blood pressure and it's like, warning, warning, warning. He's like, I'll just go for a run. That's the last thing you're supposed to do.
Worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you're supposed to start eating a little bit better, maybe get on some transitional medication so that you can bring it down. You're not in any danger. And then when your body actually starts to function again, then you can do it. But you're not supposed to do stuff like this. Like, this is legitimately Bonzi playing tennis for one. I laughed my balls off watching this. You'll laugh too. This is unbelievable. To his credit, he calls it fat guy playing wall tennis. There you go. Nice shot there. Nice shot there. What a shot. Oh, yeah. Nice shot.
Nice leaper.
And Bonzita Navratilova.
Such athleticism. He's got, Now this is my favorite part. Watch this. 20 seconds in. He's exhausted. And then it hits one more time. Second time goes over the wall. Fat guy tennis, game over. Right there.
Fuck it.
Bonzi Live. Bonzi on YouTube.
So when you're in that clinic yesterday and your blood pressure is that high, do you find yourself like panicking before you even did you feel panicky at all?
No.
Did you feel?
I feel completely normal. I would have never ever known or guessed that my blood pressure would have been that high. Wow. And when I saw the number, because I've been on medication for a long time for this, like I said, so I have my own. I used to have my own BP checker thing, and so I know the numbers. 120 over 80, you're supposed to be somewhere in and around there. And when I saw 175 or 127, I was like, shit.
Like proper blood pressure is what, 120 over 70?
Over 80.
120 over 80.
When I went in the other day.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So that's significantly higher than it should be. Did they say what the issue is? Is it all the drugs? Is it the booze? Is it the food? Is it your third testicle? It's causing all this stress.
It's the fact that I've missed my medication for 7 days straight, which didn't help. That's what made it skyrocket. Plus, with the being in the pain, in my heavy game of wall tennis there, tennis for one, I sprained my foot. That's why I was at said clinic. It was 6 days before I could put any pressure on it. And that's just a little bit. Now I've been playing for about 3 weeks. So I got a lot more aggressive than that. This was one of the very first times I was playing. And and after 3 weeks, I'd really get going, and I was having some really cool matches with myself and just juked a little too hard to the left. And rolled my foot.
I fucking kicked my ass.
I was having some really good matches with myself.
Listen, I do everything alone. My sex life is alone. I play tennis alone. I golf around here on the little holes alone. It's just me.
You're alone.
Me and the dog.
I had 100 beer last week, and I'm in better shape than you.
I texted Dean. I said, "Motherfucker, get down here and play some golf with me." There's some we're talking about some stuff coming for the future, and I'm like, "Come down, check it out." I just want somebody here to come and say hi and spend some time with me.
I know the problem is that I was thinking, because I'm going to come down there and spend some time with you, but I'm not going to sleep in your RV like that.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
fuck, that'd be weird. I'm not going to make you sleep on the fucking couch, but. There's
you
a
and I are going to go in the new
places
year.
To stay here.
I'm thinking February, like January, February. You and I have to go down and pay him a visit and say hi and make sure he's not a bad smell in the back of the RV. That's what I'm really worried about, to be honest with you.
I'm
worried
6
that
days
after
off in January, I should.
Oh, let's go. Let's go
down
to LA.
My parents are pretty worried about me. I'm not going to lie. I keep in contact with them all the time. They're getting older, and I love them to death. I have a great relationship with them, and I mean, poor mom. She's just like, Gregory Scott, just come home, please. I beg of you. And it's what's
she
that?
begging you to come? Well, dude, because I'm watching this video of you playing tennis by yourself, kicking your own ass, and I'm like, it's like, if it wasn't so funny, it'd be kind of sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
dude. There is people here, but they have families, they have lives, they have jobs. I work on this bus, 24/7, reading scripts and commercials and stuff. And dude, I literally see nobody. And it was fun for a while. It really was. I'm not gonna lie. The fun's over. I'm fucking lonely. I'm kind of miserable.
You ever been on vacation too long?
Yeah.
Why don't you come back? Why don't you just fucking come back?
People.
I know you do, but just fucking come back. That's all you got to do is fucking come back. Like, legitimately, you got a little bit of dough in the bank. You got
to where?
For what? To where?
To what?
To your family?
To
your
mom
friends?
And dad?
Park the bus
we
outside
live
of
here.
mom and dad.
Yeah, park the bus outside of your parents' house. Come on back. You can live with Ryan and Ashley. She makes a delicious peanut butter chocolate cake. He'll make you some pork shoulders. Well, you're a good guy, but if you're fucking, like, if you got a giant growth on your nuts, your fucking blood pressure is 1 million over roof. 1 million. You're lonely. The fuck, and you just said it. It's like, it's over. Just fucking come home. Like, seriously, you made a life there. You had your fun. You tried it out. It's not a failure. That's an experience, right? Just come home. Continue to build what you're doing. Fuck,
it's
go across
interesting.
Canada on your RV. Then you can stop it at any clinic when you get that another growth on your nuts, or you got a fucking problem with your heart.
Travel the East Coast
every time you do something to yourself. You know what I mean?
Everything.
The funny thing is, right? Like, we deflect, men. We suppress shit, right? I mean, you're one of the more open, and you still do it to a certain extent. You're one of the more open individuals and more, like, heart on his sleeve kind of guys that I know, right?
Yeah, I do.
And what we do as men is we poke fun at this, and we laugh about the third nut, and we tease you about your tennis game and da 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 da. But Dean's got a point. We did this whole thing with Jimmy this morning where we talked about the signs you haven't grown up yet. Mine was, I still have a potato gun in my shed, and Jimmy's had this list that was like
this huge
fucking 25 things, and we are all laughing. Hasn't cooked a meal with a vegetable and like all this shit. And I've seen his apartment. I know how this little prick lives. It's disgusting. We got into, and we're laughing, and we get into spots, and Grant goes, "It's actually kind of sad."
Yeah, it really is.
Right? I know.
He's
like, I was watching
7 tomorrow.
Who, Jimmy?
He's got no retirement. He's got no girlfriend. He's never owned a house. He's never shoveled a walk.
Yeah, but none of that shit matters. Like, none of that stuff matters.
I know,
it's like
I know, but
stupid.
But the thing is, there is a point. There is a point where you lift the hood up and you go, "All right, what's going on here?" Right?
Yeah, I get all that. I'm just maybe I should go to the people and interaction in my life.
You need to do it on a different level. I shouldn't have used Jimmy as an example because he's that's a mess. I don't even know where to fucking start with that. You got a lot of shit going for you. You've just got this idea in your head that this adventure you're on needs to have some sort of culmination or something. Bonzi, it doesn't. I mean, that's the one thing whenever we start poking you and doing like a Bonzi counseling session, I think what I see you doing is trying to deflect with there's a point to this. And I don't know if you know what the point is, and I don't think you need to actually have a point. You don't have to have this fucking Hollywood ending.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You made no one is going to be no one in your life, including us and anybody that listens to this that knows you even remotely, is going to be disappointed in you if you don't become a porn star in fucking Los Angeles.
I would be disappointed if he didn't.
That's true. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm already disappointed.
That option, you know,
at this point. You're fucking. You could come home.
Lived a 7-month vacation, working vacation.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? You fucking did it. Like you did it.
Come on.
I have no regrets of what I've done and how I did it. I mean, I've lived through some pretty cool experiences on 8 months, after 8 months on the road, and it's been pretty wild. I don't look at it as a failure whatsoever. I hope it didn't come off like that. I'm just saying maybe it is time, because it's simply not because it's failed. I really am not into driving around anymore alone. That's why I haven't been, and I've been, I hate to say stuck, but it's why I stayed in Palm Desert. I got friends here. The golf courses are great. The weather's fucking amazing. And I just worked every day and buried myself in that, instead of traveling around every day and making content and trying to do all that shit, you know?
You have the personality of always moving the goalposts, and there will never be an end to what you're doing. Like Locke said, he's right. There is no end to this for you. You don't have you didn't go with a goal. You really didn't go with a goal.
Yeah.
So there never will be one. So you're just going to chase this the entire time.
I was just trying to help you rationalize an end game, right? Like, because that's the sense that I got, was that you have this idea about how this is going to end. This is going to culminate in, you becoming a YouTube star, or, or getting into movies or whatever, right? Like that doesn't have to happen, Bonzi.
Yeah, it's not like if you don't become a porn star or you're not in a Cheetos commercial by the end of December, it's not like it's all been for naught, right? Like you've learned some valuable lessons.
Yeah,
you've had to like learning how a bus moves and operates, how to not crash into inanimate objects. You've learned about that.
I heard I was a shitty bus driver today.
You're a terrible bus driver. Oh yeah.
I went fucking 7,000 kilometers on major highways and small roads on a 45-foot bus, and the only place I fucking hit my bus was in a stupid campground in a tight bend. I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, no one's telling you that you're not a great bus driver, Bonzi. What I'm saying is,
there was one. Well, little Missy this morning was a little upset with me.
Oh yeah.
Said
did you see that? Did you see that?
Oh my god.
So we get reviews.
I knew this was gonna.
He was all pissy this morning because what James did. So James was supposed to be on the pod. By the way, he's commenting like a son. Yeah,
James was upset. So I took a spot, and then he sewered me with this. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna wreck your day, Bonzi. You wrecked mine." And this is what he sent me this morning, motherfucker.
Look at this. Look at this. Jamesy sends this to us today. This is a review for our show. I like the new guests they have, the two Ryans, the paramedic and Army Chris. But I don't care for the midlife crisis loser who's been single for 12 years, can't drive a bus, and is terrible content. Dean has a fetish for that guy's dick and balls. That's getting old. Love Lachlan and mushroom guy Jamesy. So like James, because James wasn't going to be on the show because he's like, hey guys, I got the day off. I'm joining the show. And I'm like, no. Too many people. So we'll get you on Thursday. And he's like, no problem. So James, just to be a dick, he sends that to our... Yeah, sewered him. And part of me loved it. Part of me loved the game. Part of me was like, I would do the exact same thing.
You knew this was going to send Bonzi to tailspin today, though.
Yeah, it did. I'm over it now.
Good.
I had to think about it for a bit, and it's
that upset you?
It did, and here's why.
That's a fucking review from an anonymous human being. Do you seriously give a shit about reviews?
And listen, I did for about 20 minutes. I was like, well, fuck her. And I was pissed off, and it elevated my fucking BP a little bit, even more. And then after thinking about it, I was like, motherfucker, look how far you've come. You're doing a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. From all the kudos I've got and the amazing positive comments, there's going to be a few cunts out there that don't like Bonzi, and that's okay.
Yeah, you got it.
And that's what came. And Dean, we've had this conversation, and fuck them. Fuck Chrissy and fuck the other Christy and whatever else who hated me. Fuck them.
You know what?
That's all I have to say.
You learn that if you have a thin skin, man, this industry, the broadcast industry, is not for you.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm getting better at it. I think she's the third person to hate me, and after a year, tonight will be my 150th show.
And you only got 3 people that hate you. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good. Well, at least that they've said, or you guys show me. But
speaking of,
she seems to be pretty credible though, because she said nice things about me and
me too, and Lachlan.
Yeah, Dean, you took a hit though. You like my cock and balls too much. She didn't have anything nice to say about you. Everybody else got kudos.
Well, listen, if you are listening,
so you know,
Christy or whatever, I will say
James
this.
Alias.
I will say this. If anybody in your life pops up and says, I got 3 testicles, I'm not going to be able to. That's going to be. I'm going to squirrel on that. So it's going to seem like I have a fetish, right?
Yeah.
Like I think 35 seconds after you told me and Dean, we asked for a picture,
and we got it.
Yep. That day,
dude. You want some positive reinforcement? Here's some positive reinforcement. Look at this. This is from my girl Christy. She's like, Bonzi's giggle is my absolute favorite. Look at that.
Oh, thanks, Christy.
Right? And this is Clay. Sticks and stones, Bonzi. Sticks and stones.
For sure.
The fact that you give a shit about what someone named Juice_Chrissy Babe via Apple Podcasts thinks, the fact that you let that bother you for 20 minutes bothers me. I think it's James. Yeah.
You think it's James?
Listen, again, I'm getting better at it. I don't like people not liking me. I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's no secret, you know.
I like it.
And actually, but I am getting used to the haters. And I had one on the weekend when I wrote my post. Somebody came at me about my and said I was an aggressive piece of shit on that post about the guys that beat the shit out of the guy with the service dog. And the way he came at me and was super aggressive and yelling and swearing and stuff, I was like, well, welcome to the club, pal. You just proved exactly what I was. So I was like, yeah, you know what, listen, it hurts for a few minutes and then I get over it after a little talk with myself.
What ends up happening, Bonzi, right? If you let it bother you, it sits underneath the surface, and you might not know it, but what it will do is it will impact your decisions on your podcast, and you got to learn to get over it, because it will you won't be thinking naturally and doing the things that make you unique if you're sitting there worried about pleasing everybody that's listening.
If I may, Locke, when I hit live on my own show, and even this one, there's no filter. I don't give a fuck about
no shit.
And
I'm just saying, don't let
it.
Don't let it get to that.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
With me, she's like, I just can't watch that. You've got the foulest mouth, Gregory. I didn't bring you up like that.
Did she say that to you? Your mom said that?
She gets so upset, dude. If she hears 2 F-bombs, she's out. My dad's out. They're the same. They fucking hate my show. Because I swear a lot.
You know what's incredible? You know what's incredible is that it doesn't bother you that your mother and father are beside themselves with your F-bombs, but what really bothers you is that Juice at ChrissyBabe69 on Apple Podcasts has a problem with you. Like, do you understand how fucking weird that is to me to hear as someone who doesn't give 2 shits about what anybody thinks? Like,
yeah, but it took you a while to get to that place, Dean, in all fairness. Probably like
true.
20 years in the business. You didn't fucking just overnight go, I'm not going to let any of the comments bother me. You know what I mean?
That's true. But you know what I see when I see these comments? I see content. Like Locke and I will say the same thing. The second someone sends me something, they call me names or they fucking, you know what you're talking about, you're a fucking loser, I hate your thing. I'm like, I'm just going to post this on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, James. And everybody goes, oh, thanks for posting that. That's hilarious that guy hates you and has no idea who you are. Like Chrissy Juicy Babe, whatever her fucking name is, she doesn't know you. Yeah. Like that's the thing when someone says, I can't stand that guy or this guy. These people are such losers. Legitimately, and I believe this, and if you've left us a shitty comment, yes, I'm talking to you. These people are such losers. They will, for the express purposes of feeling like they're cool, will leave a comment on Apple iTunes about someone they don't know, talking about how much they hate them and why. Do you understand how fucked that is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Well,
No,
as long as you understand it, you won't care.
I'm good. It took me a few minutes. You know what probably got to me the most wasn't that the fact she says I have shitty content and everything. It was the fucking fact that the bus comment. I fucking love this bus. I've enjoyed living on it. I've driven it like a champ through the fucking mountains and everything.
Yeah,
you're a piece of work. I hurt my baby.
And that so she can insult your your work,
yes,
and your personality and your human being. But where you really took issue was when she got when she insulted your 30-year-old.
I paid a lot of money for this fucking bus, and I smashed it up, and I was pissed. Anyways, that's how I do have thick skin, and fuck them all.
No, you don't.
And bring it on. Bring on
the thinnest skin on this panel, Bonzi.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. But you know what? He's doing exactly what he needs to do. You got to learn to lie to yourself.
Working through
it's
it.
the best lesson I've ever passed on to anybody.
Yep.
And eventually you convince yourself, Ryan. Eventually you convince yourself.
What'd you say?
Right.
Your stepdad said, "Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story." Right?
My grandfather, Gordy.
There we go.
Gordon Lincoln Hislop. That was his famous line. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And then he'd drink a 4-ounce glass of scotch.
So the guy that pulled the metal out of his leg?
And he was always pulling shrapnel out of his leg. In the 70s,
right.
This is after going
he didn't care.
World War II.
He didn't care if someone didn't like him down at the hardware store. Ryan doesn't care if some guy doesn't like him at the barbecue store. Lachlan does not give a shit about anybody and what they say about him. Trust me, I know. And this guy right here, it took me years, like till I was about 43, 44. I was like really concerned with what other people thought. And then I realized something. I think it was like 4 years ago. Coincided with something else. I can't remember what. But I was like, wait a second. I'm suffering in my own imagination more than I am reality. So none of that's true.
That's it.
Oh, okay. So if I don't give someone my mind, that means they can't fuck me over ever again, no matter what they say.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that. That's a good one. So you need to start living like that, where you can live between the gap of someone as an asshole to you, you respond, there's this gap in the middle. That's where you want to live, where you sit and you go, wait a second, I don't give a two fucks what this piece of shit just said about me, or Jimmy99 on Facebook says about, because it doesn't matter. None of these people matter. And all they want to do is get in your space. That's it. That's all they want to do is they want you to know they exist. That's all they do.
Bonzi, here's the thing that took me a long time to learn. You're not changing their opinion. Like, very rarely do you have an impact on somebody when they've decided, when they've already made up their mind about you.
Yep.
Right. And quite often, and I hate to say this, quite often somebody will meet you and within seconds, they've already put you in a box. They've already judged you. And then what are you going to do? You're going to waste a bunch of energy trying to get out of that person's box? No. What the fuck? Why? Why worry about it?
Take a shit in their box. Take a big dump in their box.
Give them a reason to put you in that box at that point.
Yeah. And
it was an unfair assessment. Fuck them.
A year ago, that would have bothered me for the entire day, and I would have probably drank 2 bottles of wine to get over it. And this morning, I had a cup of coffee. I had a pipe. I did an interview with a guy in Prague, Czechoslovakia, or wherever the hell he is, and I was over it, and it took sweet. So yeah, it's I'm definitely getting better for sure.
All right, well, I'm just making sure that you don't care what Jimmy Two-Tone 969 gives
you know
shit
what?
about you.
I will say this. I've been tuning into your podcast because I signed up for the subscription, the notification on YouTube. So she pops up on the computer if I'm downstairs working.
Yep.
And I'll throw you on if you're interviewing or if you're doing a pod. And the one thing that I've noticed with you is over the last couple of months is your interview skills are getting better. Your interview chops are getting much better. I mean, I feel like you're getting better at directing and negotiating these conversations, which I wanted to point out to you at some point. So
I appreciate
now
that.
It's as good as any.
Yeah, I had 2 people on the other night. I've never had 2 at the same time, and that was a learning experience.
The Army Chris and Patty interview was really good, awesome. Man.
Yeah,
you also gave them the room to move, which is something that's a skill that a lot of people don't have, myself included. You let them fucking chat, and when they got into it, you let them go, which is very important. Listening is an important skill in this industry. I'll figure it out someday.
I was gonna say, how are you saying this with a straight face?
I do have to throw a big part of that is my producer Glass. He does a great job, so kudos to him as well.
Fuck him. It's all you.
That's right.
Sure. I just wanted to make him feel good. He works for free.
Yeah, he does. A lot of us do.
Oh, he's great.
Ashley Lindley, Ryan's lovely wife, says Ryan hopes most people don't like him, actually. Good way to be.
It saves time, actually. The less people
it's less trouble. It's less headaches. There's less fucking, hey, can you help me move next weekend? And it's also more entertaining when somebody actually still talks to you and they don't like you. Because I really don't care, and I don't care who you're associated with. My opinion will come out, and I will let it be known because you're treating me like a piece of shit. I'm just going to be truthful with you. It's respectful. If you're lying to somebody, whether you like them or not, you're being a disrespectful piece of shit. So,
do you know what? And let me just wrap a bow on the whole thing with this. I say this to my kids all the time. And I say this to other people that I work with all the time when it comes to whether it's drinking or whatever it is.
Would you like some underwear? Is that what you're going to go into?
Yeah.
No.
Offer them free underwear.
And Bonzi, you and I were texting about this. Stop expecting anything from anybody, and you'll be a million times happier. Stop expecting people to meet your needs. Stop expecting the guy that you say hi to in Walmart to say hi back. Stop expecting, like when you do something for your kids, for them to say thank you. And if you don't expect anything from anybody ever, you will always be happy. Like, don't expect positive reviews. I expect the worst ones. I expect this to fail miserably, but I'm planning on it not to. And you know what's incredible is that when things do go well, or someone is nice to me, or the guy at Walmart's like hi back, I'm like, fuck, what a great day.
Yeah.
Like,
I was having a moment there last week, and we were on the phone for an hour, or 4 beer for me. And you laid that out for me. And that, I mean, you've said a couple of things to me over the last year and a half that I've been doing the pod with you. Actually, we're closing in on a year.
Dean.
And that was a moment, because I've come to the conclusion that I waste so much time worrying of what people aren't going to do for me, right? And the fucking irony of it is that I already know they're not going to do shit for me, because I know the type of personality there. And then when it comes to fruition,
you're mad.
I spend a week fucking bitching about the fact that they didn't do anything. So I'm wasting all this fucking energy on these people that aren't going to change. They are who they are. They're not going to help me.
And you can't control them.
Exactly. I'm not going to change. It seems the thing I have a trouble getting past is the cynicism of that, because it seems off the native. But the thing is, Dean's right. If you can get past the fact that the people in your life, whether they're acquaintances, work, family, whatever, if they're not going to give you the things you think you deserve, if you get past that, when it does happen, it's like, holy shit, fucking so-and-so did this for me. I had no, and now I'm focusing my energy on, I've been way more creative in the last couple of weeks. Like, right? I swear to God.
Because you're doing it for you. You're not expecting other people to be creative for you or to spur you or to help you. You're doing it for you, right? Same thing with you, Bonzi. It's the same thing. Is that you will realize how incredibly fucking, and look out because here comes the stoicism. You will realize how incredibly fucking capable you are when you realize that everything that bothers you, it only bothers you in thought. Like it's legitimately, you are wasting your time worried about all kinds of outcomes from something that bothers you. Like you see that tweet from that girl this morning and you're like, fuck her, maybe my show's shit, maybe I should stop doing it. And then you don't fucking count on yourself, and then your confidence is gone. You gave your mind to that fucking crazy person on Apple iTunes review. Right? Yeah. Someone comes to steal your van, you're going to fight them to the death for your van, but you gave Chrissy your brain for 20 minutes this morning. You fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like it's
it is a learning curve. And
dude, I'm 50. I'm 50
every day. So
And I'm still learning shit about myself. You're pretty self-aware too, man. I think you're ahead of the game. I don't think you should look at it from a,
And what happened was I did that interview right after, and it didn't even affect my interview. You're gonna love it tonight with this guy I got coming up, William J. Barron IV, who's done ayahuasca 30 times. He's traveled the world. He owns a company out of Prague called Drunken Monkey Pub Crawl, and they do pub crawls all over Europe. He's a fascinating human being, and you guys are going to love the interview tonight.
Good. I'm excited
and
for
it. Really, right after it did not affect the show. It did not affect my interviewing skills.
We'll be the judge of that.
Chrissy, and I am pissed that I did let her get there for 20 minutes.
That came later, I think. I think that came after your interview, because you did your interview pretty early today. So what gives me anxiety about this entire conversation is the amount of times Dean's phone rings a day with you fucking needy whiners on it. Like, that would drive me absolutely bonkers.
Oh, dude, James is the worst.
I was on the phone with Dean for 3 hours yesterday, and I talked to Dean for 7. It's like, holy shit, how many? I think I've talked to Dean once on the phone, and it was for like 20 minutes.
I'm like the community doctor, but James is the worst or best, depending on it. It's like, and he's such a fucking great guy.
It
and
gives me anxiety.
And he's so clammed up that my phone will ring and it'll say James D. Fiore on it. I'm like, fuck, I feel like I've got an emotional responsibility.
If I'm ever calling any of you, feel free to tell me to fucking pound sand.
No,
I am 100% okay.
God, no.
I'm going to start calling you on a fairly irregular basis, Ryan.
No, I like it because, me too.
We have funny conversations when you call, though.
But it's nice to go from the guy that used to go to people and go, hey, what about this? What about this? How do I do this? And then when people come to you and they're like, hey, how do I do this? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm that guy, I guess. So sit and talk to you. But, it's tiring sometimes. I'm going to start charging people for it, I think.
It does
end my calls to you.
Couldn't imagine.
We'd never talk again.
By the way, we're at $100 block.
Hey, by the way, have you guys seen that new Paul Rudd, Will Ferrell show, The Shrink Next Door?
No,
I've seen the trailer for it.
Sounds
it looks
good,
pretty
though.
funny.
It's garbage.
Really?
Was it bad?
No,
it's not.
No.
When I say
like
Paul
Paul
Rudd,
Rudd.
Will Ferrell new show, do you not go, okay, well, where is
perfect.
it? And let me get high and watch it, or drunk and watch it, because
The Shrink Next Door, right?
It's not funny. None of it's funny. It's a real story about a Jewish shrink who met up with this Jewish fabric maker, and the Jewish shrink basically stole this fabric maker's life and all of his money and used him as a handyman. Like, it's a crazy story, but it's kind of what we're talking about in a nutshell. This guy was under this Jewish shrink spell for like 27 years, gave him his whole life, gave him his business, all his money, gave him his inheritance, everything, and literally just got out of it. Anyway, I went and watched the show, and I'm like, this is going to be funny. Half the episode in, I'm like, this is fucking depressing. Like, it's
I hate shows like
Paul
that.
Rudd, who's supposed to be funny, Will Ferrell's supposed to be funny, and they went and fucked it up. And I started reading reviews. I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me this show would be garbage?
So it's a drama rather than a comedy.
Right? Because you're expecting it to be funny, and it's not. Don't watch it.
What did you guys think of Squid Game? Because I'm
so
glad. You haven't watched it? I'm so glad it's over. I still haven't been able to
There's
figure
season
out
2's
my
coming.
thoughts on that. They are going to do a season. I think it was good, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
It was fascinating.
It was fascinating.
I thought it was awesome.
You should watch it.
Well, because you could put yourself in that situation, right? You're like, 50 billion.
Brian, you should watch it.
I think Ashley watched 1 or 2, and it just didn't sound. Oh,
you got to get
okay. So yeah, that was it. She read the plot to avoid watching it. She said, "I just couldn't. I don't like subtitles as it is, like full-time subtitles, and then I also don't like dubs. So it's like, and they're like, oh, watch it with the dubs and the subtitles. It's like, that sounds fucking exhausting. We did
that. My wife and I did that. We watched it together, and it was sort of triggering at the beginning, and then like 2, 3, 4 minutes in, I'm fine. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like progressive lenses.
Or was that
transition?
Don't even know I have them on anymore.
It's like those transition lenses, like where you go walk outside and you got sunglasses on, then you walk inside and they disappear, but you're still wearing the same glasses.
Oh fuck! I miss the '80s. I love those.
Maybe I'll give it a shot if you say that.
Do it.
I'm interested to see what you would think of it, Ryan.
I loved it. I loved it because and I loved Parasite, and I love like South Korean television. I think is fucking incredible. If you get a chance to watch some of it, even if it's dubbed, like they really know what they're doing.
Yeah,
really
it's interesting that a lot of these shows are coming out of South Korea, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, boys, listen, I'll let you go. It's been an hour and 40. I really appreciate it. Bonzi, come home.
Yeah.
Or think about it. It's up to you. But you should put some thought into it. You know,
or keep on my mind. Or keep beating off. Sure. Keep beating off using your own tears as lube. It's up to you.
You know what? I think his
I'm not sitting here crying on the bus.
You know what I think? Can I suggest what your issue might be? I don't think he wants to go home.
No.
Like I don't
There's
think
no
you want
home.
to end up.
I don't have a home.
Have a home.
Mom and dad's. You don't want to be back at mom and dad's, right?
No.
Oh no. A certain individual lives there. So I will never go there as long as he's there. So that's not an option.
What do you mean? A certain individual lives where? With your parents?
My brother. Yeah, my youngest brother lives there.
Oh,
So.
that's right. Okay, yeah. You don't talk to those guys. Why don't you come live with me?
Sure, Dean.
Yeah, there's space here too. Always,
you can come
always somewhere to crash.
Dude, I will take you in if you pull your weight.
And the other thing is, I'm not bringing the bus home. It was always a thing. I was never bringing the bus back to Canada. It was never a goal. I always wanted to. I bought it here. The market to sell it here is bigger, and the time to sell it right now is ginormous. It's RVing is absolutely massive down here right now.
Drive it into the Grand Canyon.
No. You got to sell it. You got to sell it.
Yeah,
you got to sell
that money back.
Because you're gonna
There's your ending.
Sell it to. You're gonna sell it to a psycho anti-vaxxer who will pay you anything you want for that just to keep on the run from the law.
Dude,
that's a fucking great story.
Don't listen to these guys.
Yeah, listen to
us.
Put
a fucking brick on the fucking pedal
right into the canyon.
Thelma and Louise.
Put a fucking GoPro on your head and drive that thing to the edge of the Grand Canyon and just jump out just before it goes.
With a chute on. Yeah. Tuck her in my arms. Hold on, little buddy. Here we go.
It's over.
Dog under your arm.
That's the first, and when you do make it back, first interview I want to do when you get back is your dog. That with that thing, the scene, I'm sure. Oh my God,
I wish he could. That dog has seen so much masturbation in the last 8 months. Just violent masturbation. That dog is going to come back and need like a dog.
Dude, you're going to pull it off.
Roll.
I'll never forget him back and forth on the bus in disgust. You could see the look on the dog's face of disgust when I was trying to take the picture of my balls for you guys. That was a day I'll never. He was just so shocked and like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
You're sitting there braining your nuts, and the dog is going, "What?"
I haven't seen you do this before.
I've seen him slack off. What's this now?
Yeah. Usually he goes a lot faster. He's just looking at them. It's weird. He's got a weird.
And they're
thing
all
and he's
protruding out.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this, guys. Really appreciate it.
About the lighting.
Ryan Lindley, Sheeple Shepherd Podcast at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. We got. We didn't talk about our fat guy party. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We're having a fat guy party this weekend. We'll talk about that. Yeah. It's a shame.
Fuck.
Lock and Cross 95.7.
Get to Ontario.
God, come on.
I don't want to miss the fat guy party.
Dude, he's bringing a pork shoulder. He's bringing
God damn it.
Pie. He's bringing
Ashley makes us peanut butter pie because we were talking about that Reese cup yesterday. And then she's going to make jalapeno cheddar cornbread.
That's it. I'll be home Saturday, boys.
Pork belly bites that are like melt in your mouth. They explode.
That's right. And she's making a peanut butter pie. She's making a peanut butter pie for us. There you go.
It's got chocolate. It's got like the chocolate Reese, the little mini Reese cups in it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh yeah.
God damn it. If you can get here on the points,
sister by any chance, Ryan?
No, just an asshole.
Got a brother though, if you're interested.
I'm not. Okay. Bonzi is all the masturbation I do is still do love women a lot.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for
pointing that out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ryan Sheeple Shepherd Podcast. Go ahead.
On that note,
if we hear anything. Sorry, I was going to say if you hear anything back from your brother, or if there's any sort of like fundraising things that he's like doing, let us know, please.
Maybe. I don't know.
I liked your brother.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, thanks. I will. Bonzi, tonight you've got Tripping with Bonzi live at Tripping with Bonzi on YouTube.
Ayahuasca.
We lost 9 o'clock.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry, William J. Barron IV business extraordinaire guy, done ayahuasca 30 times, traveled the world, and he's a fascinating human.
Okay.
I got to go. I got to get to the liquor store. My 48 pack's gone.
All right. That's Lachlan Cross. That is Ryan Lindley, and that is my boy Bonzi. See you, buddy boy. Great to see you again. And that's it. I smell dinner. I think my kids are making dinner. It's a first. Yes, I work at home. I don't think I'll ever work in a place of business again. It's impossible. Can't do it. Thanks for joining us, though, everybody. Appreciate it. Don't forget, you can find us at deanblundell.com. Everything we do, all 84 podcasts, all of our podcasters, all of our content providers, where you too can go and read about everything from Chilliwack's disaster to how much of a fucking prick Doug Ford is. Check it out, deanblundell.com. Don't forget you can get us on YouTube if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, etc. Dean Blundell Show on YouTube and Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. If you'd like to watch the stream live, we do it every single day around 3 o'clock. And iTunes, Spotify, we've already done all that stuff. There you go. Thanks to our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports, edsfineimports.com. Go get yourself a pair of underwear. I wear them every day. You can wear them every day. Gitch3 is your promo code. They're awesome. Pouch in the front, boxer briefs. Guys, you'll love them. edsfineimports.com. Order online today. Gitch3 is your promo code. Gitch and then the number 3. Thanks to our friends over at domination.com, dmntn.com. It's for people that want to produce content, promos, legacy stuff, different platforms. Free to try. And if you produce anything, gaming, streaming, podcasting, etc., it's incredible. You put your one file in there, an hour and a half worth of content comes out, 72 pieces that you can filter across different platforms. It's very, very cool. So check them out today, dmntn.com. And Easy Auto Financial. Our friends at Easy Auto Financial want to get you in a car, and super easy to do. No financing, no problem. They'll get it for you. That is how good these people are. No credit, no problem. Good credit, even better. It's all turnkey. They get you the car and the financing, and it is absolutely no charge, no obligation either. So go to easyautofinancial.ca today to buy a car. Have a good day, everybody. Sign up for a newsletter at deanblundell.com. And thanks to Mike, Ashley, Clay, Wade, Manny, Sean, Howard, Glassy, Bob, Christy, Christopher, James, our James, the other James, Brad. You get the Brad? Wade? I can't go through. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow around 3 o'clock.